go. Zangief, nigga. Let's go. Woo! Alright. Alright, we lit up in here. Holy shit. Yo, this bangs. I know it's the fucking Zangief theme. Holy shit, we are live. As always, gotta make sure everything works. Alright, we're good. What's happening, y'all? What's happening? How's everybody doing? Fuck. Jesus. I'm fucking thirsty as hell, bro. New viewer here, love your content. Also, this goes unbelievably hard. Hell yeah, my nigga. Look at this shit. Zangief's theme. I literally have this in my workout playlist, bro. I literally have it in my workout playlist. Oh yeah, I also appreciate it that you love my content. What's good? Kill's in here. Feather Guardian. Marvin. Natezilla Gaming. I've seen you. Yeah, it does bang. Hey, Hi C, how are you doing, man? It's gonna be another fun night watching you clown the gatekeepers. Yeah, bro. Dude. These fanboys, these Peter gatekeepers, they are coping and seething when it comes to Miles, bro. These niggas are seething. These niggas are seething, bro. It's crazy. Miles Morales into the Pandaverse, they are seething. Holy shit. Woo! Oh, crap. Okay. What's up, Pisces? What's good, Drew? How's y'all night going? Alright. Boy, as always, we got a few idiots to clown. There's another video that one of y'all sent me in the comments that I'm gonna have to take a look at. You should listen to the Street Fighter 2 anime movie soundtrack. Oh, really? Japanese version. Oh, okay. Well, because when Street Fighter 6 came out, I kind of just started listening to the tracks, and I realized, like, the Zangief one, like, this shit is fucking catchy, bro. Like, it slaps. Like, listen to this. Like, check out that beat, my nigga. That's some hood music right there. Alright. Holy fuck. Okay. So, appreciate the support that y'all been showing me for this past what is it, like 2 or 3 weeks, I think. My channel has been growing. It seems like a lot of Spider-Man fans have been waiting for a fan with some actual common sense to step in and be the voice of reason with these idiots, bro. Like, I'm seeing all sorts of nonsense, like, you know, because we already clowned the Spider-Man to his woke people. We already clown, like, we're clowning the Miles Morales haters, people. It's crazy, man. It's absolutely fucking crazy. It's literally insane, bro. Yeah, these people call us snowflakes and they get mad over the little. Exactly. Bruh, here's the thing. You don't get to use the term snowflake if you're being a snowflake. That's the thing. This is why I tell y'all, there's two sides of the same coin. It's two sides of the same coin. But it's really just these people. And again, it's okay to not like Spider-Man 2. And it's okay to not like Miles. Like, if you guys notice, I don't actually go after people who actually, like, have valid criticisms for the game. I don't do that. Just like, hey, it's okay to not like it. I go after the people who are just being straight up fucking stupid. That's why it's called laughing at Spider-Man 2 haters. And then y'all niggas be sending me video essays. I'm like, I ain't trying to. I don't watch video essays. Like I do in my spare time, but I don't react to them on stream. Cause y'all know when I go live, I like to keep it like most of my lives are like at most 2 hours long. At most 2 hours long. I like to keep them short and sweet. I don't like drag shit on for too long. But I actually, my latest video, or one of my latest videos, because like I said, I had to come out and be the voice of common sense. Because everybody was coming out talking about some Peter was nerfed. I'm like, Peter was nerfed? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, what the hell? Also, if y'all like the content, y'all be sure to like the stream. We gonna get into it. We about to get into it. We gonna get into it. No Melanie mac and cheese today. No Melanie mac and cheese, Killalicious. Hi, CHD. Do you want to know what I like about you? Sure. I guess. Sure. Go ahead. But we have a few videos we're gonna look at and laugh at. The first one, we got a brother here. We got a fellow brother saying, I'm done with Insomniac Spider-Man. And then we got just some guy, a lot of people were telling me about him. Miles Morales into the Pandaverse. So, you know, right off the bat, we already know where his headspace is. And then we have a review, I guess. Marvel Spider-Man 2, Miles of Disappointment. So we about to get into it. I expect to hear some brain dead shit. But yeah. Also, my old headphones, they fucking broke. I got new ones and they're fucking wireless too. No Melanie Mac today. No Melanie Mac today. You again? Y'all got beef or something, my nigga? Y'all got beef or something? Didn't Peter get an upgrade with the anti-venom suit and finally grew up? That's what I'm saying, but they don't. That would, Feather Guardian, that would be thinking logically, okay? These people, there's just no reasoning with some people. Let's get into it. So first one we got is, I'm done with Insomniac Spider-Man. Oh my god, it's a fellow brother too. You hate to see it, man. You just hate to see it.
It's intended for this channel to be counter-programming. I don't like making videos that everyone else is making, but I've talked about this game from the beginning, and I promise to review this when it comes out. I'll just say I've been complaining about my issues with Insomniac Spider-Man's story before it was cool, and this is probably the last video I'm going to make about this game series. I'm trying to keep my channel positive, so I don't intend to make many more videos like this in future. The game has a lot of good because the sandbox was put together by a competent team, but at the core of the story, which is ultimately what matters,
Dude got chesticles. Shut your ass up, Kill.
Is a lot of rot for actual fans of Spider-Man. If you're a Miles Morales fan or you disagree with what I'm about to say, the comment section is all yours. I'm usually very perceptive, but I'm also very hopeful and largely positive, so my positivity ends up clouding my better judgment. Let me explain. All my friends and anyone who has ever watched any of my videos knows that I don't like Miles Morales. At all. I've detailed my...
You know what? Let's hear him out. Let's hear him out. You already didn't like the first one. I mean, chances are if you don't like the first one, you sure as hell not gonna like the second one. So he doesn't like Miles Morales. Let's hear why. Let's hear him out.
My reasons in previous Insomniac Spider-Man game videos, so I'll not repeat them again. The moment I saw him in the trailer for the first game, I was immediately unhappy, because I knew what that meant down the road, and my friends can bear me witness. Miles, since his inception in Ultimate Spider-Man, is usually at best a leech on Peter Parker.
Wait, hang on, hold up. So you mean to tell me you immediately saw him and you immediately got unhappy? Bro, these Peter's super stands are in fucking sane, bro. I love Peter. I grew up with Peter. But this whole, like, y'all, bro, you didn't even want to give him a chance. Like, this man said, this man said, I saw Miles and I was immediately unhappy. You know what the funny part is? A lot of people who are against, black people a lot of them ain't just in America. A lot of them come from the motherland. That's all I'm gonna say to that. But let's keep moving.
Unhappy because I knew what that meant down the road, and my friends can bear me witness. Miles, since his inception in Ultimate Spider-Man, is usually at best a leech on Peter Parker. And I say at best because whenever you see him, he's usually a precursor to replacing Peter. That's one half of my perceptiveness. The other half is...
How is he a leech? Let's hear him out.
My overall critique of the first game. If you were to go back and watch my previous videos, I was completely baffled by the decision to speedrun through Spider-Man's rogues in the first game. If you want to fact check me, go to my review of the first game at 22 minutes and 52 seconds.
Like, here's the thing. These people that say Miles is a leech on Peter, they don't read it. They have no idea. This is why I tell y'all, they have no idea why this character was created. Like, do y'all not know about legacy characters? That they were made to inherit the mantle after Peter? And even then, like, this weird narrative that they're trying to use Miles to replace Peter, it's so dumb to me. Because if anything, we have been seeing more of Peter. More than ever. Like, y'all are still getting Peter movies in the MCU. But all of a sudden, Miles gets 2 movies and he gets a game, and all of a sudden that's shoving Miles down people's throats. Like, dude, they're literally just building up another Spider-Man. That's it. Now, I have a feeling he will be the main Spider-Man somewhere down the line. Definitely not now, because Peter's just too much of a moneymaker. But what's the issue if they want to give Peter a break and focus on Miles? That's cool. I have no issue with that. Love Peter, but he ate my favorite. My favorite's Kane. Dude, bro, Kane Scarlet Spider has one of the hardest suits in Spider-Man history, bro. Like, I love Kane's Scarlet Spider suit. I love it. Like, you can't bro, as far as badass suits, his is in the top 3. And then the what was it? The Savage Spider-Man, his new suit that he got. That's a goated one too. Savage Spider-Man, yeah, it was this shit. Bruh. A lot of the good ass suits that Peter has come from like all the Elseworld stories. It's crazy. So right off the bat, he already has a disdain for Miles. So he went into it. It's bias. Simply, and the worst part is, it's just because he's not Peter. That is crazy to me. This is what I mean when I tell y'all, there's the racists, and then there's the gatekeepers. The gatekeepers are willing to dismiss Miles straight away just because he's not Peter. Like, dude. When that live action Miles movie hits 1 billion, I love to hear the quote. Me too, bruh. Me too. You can't make the scene if you don't have the green. Well, Peter, I know what you're talking about.
In their first outing, Insomniac introduced and had Spider-Man get into conflict with Fisk, Shocker, Otto Octavius, Norman Osborn, Tombstone, Mr. Negative, Scorpion, Electro, Vulture, Rhino, and Silver Sable, not to mention side appearances by Taskmaster, Black Cat, and Screwball, then killed Aunt May, foreshadowed Harry Osborn as Venom, turned sweet lovable Yuri Watanabe from honorable cop to vengeful vigilante in a really dark turn of events, introduced Hammerhead, fake killed Black Cat, turned Hammerhead into a cyborg, and then killed him, with no regard for fans of Hammerhead.
Wait, why is he just standing there? Wait, what?
Introduced Hammerhead, fake killed Black
Wait,
Cat.
my man. Bro, are you good, my nigga? You acting like Miles killed your grandma or something, bro. My man's just sitting there brooding like he Bruce Wayne or something, just... all because it's a Spider-Man that's not Peter. My man, all the Peter stands and the gatekeeper's just going, oh my god, another Spider-Man. These niggas are crazy.
Turned Hammerhead into a cyborg and then killed him with no regard for fans of Hammerhead.
I wasn't happy at how rushed Peter's introductory game was, and I couldn't understand why they were overusing his villains in the first game. It was my understanding that they were building out a game series, so I was wondering why they were not saving villains for later. And here is where my hopefulness clouds my better judgment. Miles plus Speed...
No. I'm pretty sure they had all those villains, and they had Peter take him down because they wanted to showcase how experienced this Spider-Man was. Not to mention, it's damn near like a 30-hour video game. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck are you talking about? I'm just curious. Did anybody think the first Spider-Man game was rushed, or is it just him? Because I swore I heard praise up and down. Like I've never heard that before. And then yeah, the Sinister Six too. Like, what is he talking about?
For later. And here is where my hopefulness clouds my better judgment. Miles plus Speed running through Peter's rogues obviously means that they had no intention of building a game series around Peter.
Gotta be honest, little jealous.
Hey, look, I got nothing on the OG.
In retrospect, it's so obvious, but at the time I clearly trusted
Wait, what do you mean it's so obvious?
Nothing on the OG.
Miles literally just said he has nothing on the OG. Like, what more do you guys want? Now I feel like at this point, y'all are just shitting on Miles just to shit on him. Like, are you even gonna talk about the game, or are you just gonna shit on Miles? I'm done with Insomniac Spider-Man. Is this not a Spider-Man 2 review? Or is this just a Miles rant video? Like, even Peter right here says I've got nothing on the OG. I don't understand, man.
In retrospect, it's so obvious, but at the time I clearly trusted Insomniac so much, to the point where I could not see what was right in front of me. And if you watch the video where I reviewed the game trailer for the sequel, I couldn't understand why they were changing the face models for Peter and MJ. I even thought this sequel was set 10 years later because of how different MJ looked. Some people were telling me to get over Peter's new face, but most people were saying MJ doesn't look that different. Now having seen the whole game, we know that to be a lie. And there are some theories around self-inserts and the like which appear to be true, but I have a different theory. The thing I noted was that Miles was the only consistent character model. Call me a conspiracy theorist, but how else do you break the audience's familiarity or attachment to a character and shift them towards a different character? You have to make the character they love and have invested in to be unrecognizable to the audience and break that connection that they already established. Whether this was intentional or a byproduct of...
No! It's not that serious! It wasn't that deep. Listen. Since so now we're using the face models to shit on Miles. Dude, these fanboys are insane. I'm gonna tell you the actual reason. I'm getting fucking stupid. I'm gonna tell you the reason why Peter and MJ have different face models and Miles doesn't. So, Peter has a different face model because the OG face model and Yuri's face when he was voicing the lines, it was hard for the animators to match them up. So they literally switched the face models just to make it easier. That's it. And then when it comes to MJ, her face model is literally the same. They literally said she has the exact same face model actress. They just made some minor adjustments to it. Miles is just the only one that just happened to didn't run into any of these issues, right? He had a voice actor that was perfectly in sync with the facial avatar, and it balanced out. Like that, bro. This man came up with a whole conspiracy that the reason why Miles's face model wasn't changed was the reason that they changed Peter and MJ to dunk on them and not Miles. Like, bro.
In maintaining Miles' appearance among the 3 game leads. And I feel like such a fool for having not seen all the writing that was clearly on the wall. I don't do bandwagon content, so I'm not jumping on a trend here. I'm
yes,
just pointing.
You are. You are literally doing bandwagon content right now, my guy. Nigga, you know how much a lot of these stands hate Miles. I mean, you would know you're one of them. This is literally like all the Spider-Man 2 is woke train. That's bandwagon content. Most of these people don't give a shit that Miles is in the game. They're just they're crazy because in their head Peter is the only Spider-Man. No one else can be in the costume. Like, bro, these Peter Parker fans, or not all Peter, because not all Peter Parker fans are like this. Let me watch what I say. These gatekeepers, they think that Peter is the only one that's allowed to be in the mask. Nobody else. Because they tried doing this shit with Clone Saga, and that failed. I mean, because if you think about it, Clone Saga was literally the perfect opportunity to retire Peter, give him kids with MJ, because he had been a superhero for like, what, 30 years at that point? But it was just the way they did it with Ben Reilly that it just didn't make sense. So after that, they said, fuck it, we'll just write some more stories. And then one more day happened. We don't, bruh. Every Peter fan knows about One More Day. One More Day was the worst, bro. One More Day, was it? Yeah, it was One More Day. One More Day was the worst. It's literally the cardinal sin against Peter Parker. Because ever since One More Day happened, that nigga has been getting absolutely shit on. And now it's starting to catch up with him. Because Zeb Wells' run is basically now just shitting on the character. Basically. I mean, because he can't do anything else with them. They have no clue what to do with him. But instead of letting Peter just move on, letting him retire with MJ, have kids, even be an older Spider-Man. Nope. They want to keep, because they want to keep Spider-Man, they want to keep Peter Parker young, apparently. But most fans, they want Peter Parker to grow older, right? But here's the thing, when Peter Parker grows older, somebody's going to have to come in and fill that void and get the mantle that Peter left behind. That's where Miles comes in. But these fanboys cannot see that. Instead, they push this whole Miles is woke narrative, or Miles is just a diversity hire. They're shoehorning him in to take away from Peter. Homie, nobody's dumping on Peter. Nobody's shitting on Peter. The whole point, listen, the whole point of Peter mentoring Miles is so that Miles can be a better Spider-Man than Peter. If I'm teaching my apprentice how to do something, it's because I want them to be better at the job than me. Like, why is that a bad thing? Peter should be an adult. He should be a grown-ass man. Like in the Insomniac games, mentoring Miles. I think that's the best route. The best route is to have 2 Spider-Men. But, you know, these idiots are going around saying Miles isn't Spider-Man. So
out that there were a lot of
Zeb Wells is such a comic writer name. It's great.
signs early which I noticed, but I didn't want to believe them at the time. The sad reality today is our favorite fictional characters have become a foot in the door device. They're used to pull in an audience and get them invested. Then they can switch into whatever agenda they have once you're invested. This is another thing I started telling my friends early on, but some of them either like this deceptive method of telling stories, or they wouldn't believe me until the activists came for their favorite characters.
Give people stuff you know they want, so you can inject things that maybe they aren't familiar with, or maybe they don't know they want, but make them like that stuff.
I always said Miles is the worst thing that ever happened to Peter.
I'm pretty sure that was in regards to the MJ missions, which he's not wrong about. Because you have some people that just straight up hate MJ missions. I'm pretty sure the point he was making was that we can give them a whole bunch of Peter and Miles, but give them some really good MJ missions as well to make them like it. Now, some argue he didn't really do a good job, but that's not the point. The point is, this quote is out of context.
Peter Parker and fans of Peter
Like, you're
Parker.
just twisting
If you're a
his
fan of
words.
Miles, good for you. You're getting what you want. But if you're a fan of Peter like me, I'm sorry. This is permanent now. As the saying goes, once you take toothpaste out
Like,
of
listen,
I'm sorry.
bro.
This is permanent now.
Listen to the way this dude is talking.
As the saying
He's saying if you're a Peter fan, I'm sorry, this is permanent now. Like, what? I'm a Peter fan. I mean, I'm more of a Miles fan, but I grew up with Peter. Technically, I grew up with Peter and Miles because I watched a lot of Peter's animated shows, and most of them had Miles in it, and I read Miles, so I grew up with both of them. That's just me. I don't know why you're saying I'm sorry this is permanent, because most Spider-Man fans with common sense are okay with Miles, which is the crazy part. It's really just stands, grifters, and gatekeepers like yourself that just hate the character. So you guys create this logic and say, oh my god, Peter was nerfed, and you guys create this feedback logic and just feed into that logic because it makes sense to you. You guys come up with this weird ass logic to justify the fact that they're trying to replace Peter with Miles. Like,
saying
bro,
goes, once you take toothpaste out of the
crazy.
tube, there's no putting
He still hasn't explained why Miles is a cancerous leech on Peter. They never can, bruh. Because as soon as you explain the concept of a legacy character, and then you tell them to keep that same energy for those other characters, it's crickets. People act like most Miles fans aren't also Pete fans. Exactly. Like, nobody is shitting on Peter, bro. Believe it or not. Like, I feel like some of these guys want Peter to be shit on so that they can find something to complain about. I genuinely believe that, because you have me, who is a Miles fan, saying, yo, he's fine. Like, they're not shitting on him. and Miles didn't even get that much screen time in the game. It was still a majority Peter story. Like, what? Fuck, dude. These toxic fools who dog on Miles have gone unpunished too long. Watching a black brother like you stand up for Miles fills my heart with so much joy. Oh yeah, I got y'all, bro. I got y'all.
it back. Miles and Peter cannot coexist because Miles is a downgraded version of Peter and serves no real purpose until you get rid of Peter, or as you started to see in the sequel, make the student outshine the master.
It's Miles kind of saying, we're going to do this,
Wait,
we're going to do that.
this dude,
Peter, and serves no real purpose.
Miles is a downgraded version of Peter, bro. The Spider-Man with 2 extra abilities is a downgrade. Got you. Cope and seethe, my nigga.
Until you get rid of Peter, or as you started to see in the sequel, make the student outshine the master.
Real.
It's Miles kind of saying, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And I don't know if you guys caught this, when the mission, the second last mission where they show up, Pete's in the anti-venom and Miles has his new suit. And Miles is telling Pete about what his dad and what May would say. And then at one point, Pete goes, what's the play, coach?
Oh, yeah.
That's what Miles says to Pete.
And then here's the thing, right? Miles fans are actually saying, yo, we want Peter and Miles to coexist. It is literally only the Peter fanboys that are saying Miles isn't Spider-Man or Miles Morales is Miles Morales. You'll never replace Peter. Like, bro, it's fear-mongering and paranoia going on in the Spider-Man community needs to stop. Nobody is replacing anybody. Peter, like, y'all don't understand. Peter is too much of a money-making icon to just throw away. That's not gonna happen. At least not anytime soon. Not anytime soon, no. They're simply coexisting. Like, what part of this do people... And here's the thing. I feel like some of these people... Because you gotta understand. Some of these people... You have some of these people that are so upset by the way, like, a lot of these writers are treating Peter. So, instead of actually going to Marvel and saying, hey, like, we don't like the way Zeb Wells is doing shit, they go to Miles and they take their rage out on Miles and Miles fans, right? That's why I tell y'all, these people who go and say Miles Morales is Miles Morales, High C. Why do they do that? It doesn't mean anything. Marvel literally said he's Spider-Man. Dude, they do that because they know they want to make Miles fans angry. They know it doesn't matter. They know it doesn't mean anything. But just the fact that they're able to do it. The fact that they're able to rile Miles fans up makes them happy. Because in their head, well, they're shitting on Peter, so we might as well just shit on Miles. It's like, why? You should be directing that energy towards Marvel editorial, because they did one more day and screwed Peter over. Like here's the thing. The same people who are writing Peter's comics aren't writing Miles comics. There are two different people. There are two different teams doing two different shit. If they were the same team, you might have a point, but they're not. You need to be telling them that. Don't try and bring that shit to over here, because Miles fans haven't done nothing to y'all. Miles has done nothing to y'all. We haven't done shit. We're just trying to enjoy our character. We're trying to enjoy the character. All you idiots saying Miles isn't Spider-Man, see, y'all bitch and complain about how bad the TASM series is. Y'all bitch and complain, but y'all still buy the fucking issue every month. So whose fault is that? That's not Miles' fault. That's not Miles' fans' fault. That's not our fault. We haven't done shit to y'all, bro. I made a community post earlier saying, hey, you do know that saying you're black and you don't like Miles, that's not an argument, right? And you had some idiot trying to get a rise out of my community saying, well, I hate Miles because he's black. Just going back and forth. Just going back and forth with the people in my comment section. I'm like, yo, don't even respond to this dude. He's just trying to get a rise out of y'all. Literally. I mean, it's Marvel, but it's certain sections of Marvel. Like the section of Marvel that's running Miles is not to blame. The section that is running Peter is to blame. And then even then, the people that are doing the comics aren't the ones doing the games. The people that are doing the games are saying, hey, they like Peter, they like Miles, TASM. I know it's not TASM. I say that. I can say ASM. I call them TASM comics. That's what I call them. I know. I know it's not. I say TASM because it's the comic book run. But yeah.
Like Pete goes, what's the play, coach?
Oh yeah.
That's what Miles says to Pete near the end of
like y'all know how good Miles' comics are right now. It's crazy.
Spider-Man 1. So they flip.
Oh,
They
awesome.
flip. They flip. Now Miles is the one kind of saying, he's kind of not handing the baton, but saying, hey, it's your.
Here's the thing, Kill. It's not even just skin related though. Like some of them are just upset by what Zeb Wells is doing to the character, and they're taking their anger out on Miles fans because he's been getting treated so well lately. It's like you need to be directing that energy towards whoever's doing Peter right now, not towards Miles and his fans. Not doing that. No.
I'm gonna listen to you now.
Like
In the
Miles
first
is
game's
actually
DLC.
Miles has actually been progressing as a character more than Peter. Like his comics are starting to make more and more and more money, and I don't even read them like that.
He was an inferior nuisance to Peter who kept calling and asking the most basic questions.
Okay, quiz time. If a pendulum is 40 meters long and attached at a 45-degree angle, how far will the pendulum fall at its lowest point?
11.72 meters. But why does that matter?
It matters a lot if you're the
Yo, look at his face. Cope and seethe, bruh. Cope and seethe. Cope and seethe. He's Spider-Man. He's not bro. Miles isn't going anywhere, bro. You can make that. Like, bro, you acting like he killed a member of your family or some shit, bruh. Like, what the fuck?
pendulum.
Oh my god.
Oh! Wait, so you do all these equations in your head, like, while you're swinging through the city?
I have to. And so will you if you want to get good at it.
Wow, I had no idea.
In the Miles Morales game, they started to not so subtly make Peter
Like,
need
yes, I get it. A lot of people say that Spider-Verse is the best version. I agree. I do. Spider-Verse is the best version of Miles ever. But Insomniac's version is solid. It's not as good as Spider-Verse's version, but it's still solid. I could get why people might have some issues with him, but he's not a bad character. Despite what many people say about that, he's not a bad character.
Miles. Peter, who had taken on the Sinister Six as well as Scorpion and Rhino at the same time during a gameplay mission, suddenly could not handle Rhino alone and kept calling Miles for help.
Miles, I'm gonna need a hand up here. We're going to stop him as long as we work together. I'm giving you a hand up here.
Okay, Pete. Yeah, I got this.
Take it away, Capo. Whoa. Now or never,
Bruh.
Miles. We gotta stop him. We gotta bring him down fast.
Then he got knocked out and Miles took care of Rhino on his own.
I mean, I don't even know what point you're making with this, cause it's got, it's got the same shit that the comics has. Sometimes Peter cleans Rhino, no question, without even effort. Sometimes Rhino beats the shit out of Peter. Sometimes it takes Peter everything he has to defeat the dude. You gotta remember, this is a universe with Miles in it. So yeah, there are some times where, yeah, Peter's gonna be able to defeat Rhino on his own. There are also some times where Rhino's gonna knock his ass out, because that's just writing. They do that to balance it out. That's all it is. Y'all are reaching and just taking shit. Y'all are taking shit way to heart, bro. And not to mention, this is literally his game. So of course the knockout, he was gonna be the one to knock him out. Like, dude. Fuck. Let's get through this so we can get to the other videos.
By the second game, we weren't even pretending anymore. Miles is
And
now...
then I'm pretty sure they were saving civilians, and then there was an explosion that happened, right? I see, you're killing me. But I'm serious. Like, these niggas are, they're gonna have to cope. Like, the only people, here's the thing. The only people that think Miles is being shoved down people's throats are the people who don't like the character. Because most people like the character. It's crazy.
somehow
Like,
better...
how is he being shoved down his throat if people actually like the character? If he's a hot topic and he's a character that everybody wants to see a lot, of course you're gonna see more of him. A profitable character that makes money, oh yeah, you're gonna see more of him. Same way how Peter was introduced. It's the same shit. But they don't take into account the fact that Miles is more relatable to the current generation. They don't take that into account. Because like I said, these fanboys are delusional. In their head, Peter is the only Spider-Man. And anybody else, even if it means Peter has to suffer forever. Like, these guys are so opposed to the idea of a black Spider-Man. Another Spider-Man, that they would rather let this dude suffer for all eternity. Simply because no one other than Peter can wear the mask. This staining has got to stop, bro.
than Peter and can even beat a Venom-powered version of him.
And then Miles has been around since, like, what? 2011? Exactly. If he's being shoved down people's throats, let's check out Across the Spider-Verse. How much did Across the Spider-Verse make? Across the Spider-Verse. Let's take a look at that budget real quick. That budget. 90 million. No, that's Into the Spider-Verse. Why did I literally just... I put Across the Spider-Verse. What the fuck? Why you show me? What? Google, you tripping. What the hell? Why is Google tripping on me? I think the budget was like 100 million, right? It was 100 mil. Y'all let me know. It wasn't it. It was 100 mil. It was 100 mil. Let's check out that box office. 700 mil. He's being shoved down people's throats, though. If he was really being shoved down people's throats, wouldn't you think people would have just not went and saw the movie? I'm going to tell you an example of a black character that isn't really liked. Riri Williams. Why do you think we only saw that chick in like one movie? Because nobody really likes the character. It's not like you guys are the only niggas making it about race. Well, he's just a black Peter Parker, or he's just a diversity hire, or he's just y'all sound crazy. Like, y'all sound insane. They made a movie based on that Spider-Bug collectible, did they? Yeah, it was 100 mil, 90 mil. All right, yeah. Yeah.
By the end of it, we just don't need Peter anymore.
I got this.
We just don't need Peter anymore, and can even... By the second game, we weren't even pretending anymore. Miles is now somehow better than Peter and can even beat a Venom-powered version of him, and by the end of it, we just don't need Peter anymore.
I mean, yes and no. He didn't exactly like... Well, he did. I guess he did beat him, but he had the bell. Peter taught him how to be Spider-Man. And he has the bioelectricity. That's two of the symbiote's weaknesses. And strength-wise, he's strong, if not stronger than Peter is. Like, come on, homie. Like, y'all love to tell Miles fans to cope and seethe that he's not Spider-Man. But Marvel is literally saying he is Spider-Man. You know what that means? Y'all are the ones coping and seething. You guys are the ones coping, not us. Marvel factually said it. He's Spider-Man. Miles is one of the best things to happen to the Spider-Man IP in the last decade. Exactly. Like, bro, if it weren't... Like, I'm going to be real with y'all, because Spider-Man's comics weren't really popping off. If it weren't for those MCU movies, Spider-Man would be dead right now. And even the Spider-Man movies in the MCU weren't even really all that. Besides No Way Home, which I'll give a pass for, even though I didn't really like the movie that much. Like, y'all don't understand. Spider-Verse got a lot of people back into Spider-Man, bro. I was almost done with Spider-Man. And it wasn't because of Peter. It was just because I was just tired of seeing the same shit. A lot of the fandom was craving for something new. Miles offers that. Miles literally offers that to Peter. And for Spider-Man as a whole.
Version of him, and by the end of it, we just don't need Peter anymore.
I got this.
Like, this whole Peter's nerf shit and this whole replacement theory, it's just a narrative created by people who just don't like Miles. It just is what it is.
All of it. Go be Peter Parker.
Peter was also trying to hold himself back from hurting Miles as well. Yeah. I don't know. In the fight, it definitely seemed like he was trying to hurt him. Miles at full power can one-shot Peter. Oh, yeah, well, with his Venom Blast, because he did knock him out. He knocked him out with his Venom Blast in the comics. I think it was in the original Spider-Man. It was either that or the second one. These gatekeeping fools are reaching in their over-the-top disdain of Miles. Miles is this generation Spider-Man, whether they like it or not. Some people, there's just no convincing some people, bro. No convincing some people. Even the Marvel heroes and villains would have a hard time. That's what I said earlier. Spider-Verse got a lot of people back into superhero movies. Exactly. And it was animated too. Y'all know how much animated movies get shit on. Y'all know how much animated movies get shit on. Because they're supposedly for kids and shit and whatnot. So the fact that Spider-Verse pulled those numbers with Miles as a prominent character and he's being shoved down people's throats, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Are you sure? It's a big city.
Like, look, guys, look. Y'all don't understand. Look at this shit.
Are you sure it's a big city?
Look at how relieved he is, bro. Look at how relieved this dude is. That he can finally go live his, hear the relief in his voice. Listen, I want y'all to listen to this.
Are you sure it's a big city?
Look at how relieved he is. That he finally gets to go live his life. That there's another Spider-Man actually willing to do the work so that he can fix his life that he fucked up all those years ago by being Spider-Man. Nah, but Peter's the only Spider-Man, right? Do y'all not want him to be happy? Do y'all want him to constantly... I'm confused. Y'all want him to just get his ass beat forever? Is he not allowed to have a life? Look at that. They want this dude to suffer just because they don't like Miles. That's what y'all don't understand. By bashing Miles, y'all are indirectly shitting on Peter. So who's the actual Spider-Man fan here? Us, who actually want Peter to have a happy life, Miles can take over, and they can both coexist as Spider-Man, or you. You want Miles to not be Spider-Man, Peter to be Spider-Man for all eternity, get himself fucked up, just because he's the only one that can wear the mask. Who's the actual Spider-Man fan here? Who are the actual Spider-Man fans here? Think about that.
I can handle it.
And this is not even one of those stories where Peter is old and can't do it anymore. It's just a transparent message that Peter is out and Miles is in. Deal with it. My original intention, which I mentioned
with it, Cope and Seed, bro.
When I reviewed the trailer, was to review the entire story again from Spider-Man 1 to Miles Morales to this second game and evaluate all of it as a whole. I'll not be doing that anymore. And credit where credit is due, the Miles Morales game was actually serviceable, but Miles is such a nothing character. He's not perceptive,
What?
he's not funny, he's not street smart,
He's a nothing character? His character arc in Spider-Man 2 was arguably better than Peter's, and we're gonna say he's a nothing character. I mean, both of their story arcs were good, but to act like Miles is a bland character in this franchise is stupid. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Mr. Negatives, I'm gonna make a video about it. Mr. Negatives and Miles were some of the best parts of the story. When Peter wasn't fucking niggas up, when Peter wasn't fucking Lizard up and Craven up, Miles and Martin Lee, most interesting dynamic out of the bunch. Period. They want Pete as miserable as them? Exactly. I don't tell you, man. I really don't. I don't know why they can't accept that he's just more relatable. When Spider-Man was first created, he was supposed to be a teenage superhero relatable to teens at the time. Miles is that for us now. Thank you. They love to say how Miles was created for representation. He wasn't created for representation like Peter was. Nigga, Peter was created for representation, just like Miles was. They both represent the teenage world. Just Peter was the mainstream teenager in the past. Miles is the mainstream teenager of today. That's why you have so many fans pushing for Peter to grow up. Because teenage-wise, he's past his prime. It just is what it is. We just much rather see him as an older Spider-Man. And let Miles be the core Spider-Man for the generation. He's not street smart? Did he actually say that? Did he actually fucking... No way. No way he said that. He wants Miles to throw it. Exactly. Because he's not the stereotypical... I mean, there are some parts of him, but he's not completely though they want him to be stereotypically black completely, because that'll give them a reason to shit on him even more. But he's relatable to everybody.
Credit where credit is due. The Miles Morales game was actually serviceable, but Miles is such a nothing character. He's not perceptive, he's not funny, he's not street smart, he's not...
No, bro. If anything, Miles is more street smart than Peter is, but... I don't even know what the fuck you are talking about. He's not street smart. So you didn't play the Miles game, or did you even play Miles' missions in Spider-Man 2, where he was literally interacting with his community? But he's not street smart?
Socially savvy, he's not a genius like Peter, he has no unique...
The jokes write themselves, bro. The jokes write themselves. Y'all niggas better be sure to like the stream, man. Y'all better be sure to like the stream. I'm suffering through this brain rot for y'all. We'll move in. We're not going to watch this whole thing. We'll move on to the next one in a minute. But, bro, these people are literally crazy.
He's not street smart, he's not socially savvy, he's not a genius like Peter, he has no unique quality that makes him stand out, and he is so reliant on another nothing character
like
in
Peter.
Genki. What is this obsession with bad superhero characters and the man in the chair trope, or giving an independent hero unnecessary sidekicks? But that just goes to show or giving an independent hero...
I mean, well, The Flash is a terrible show, but not for the reasons he's saying, because people liked Wally West, so... Again, it's a nothing burger.
Unnecessary sidekicks. But that just goes to show Miles from his inception is half the character Peter is, so Peter's role has to be split between two nothing characters when he's not around, with Miles and Genki putting their heads together for things that Peter would usually do alone. The only redeeming factors in that Miles Morales game...
Here's the thing. So you're saying he's not as smart as Peter is. He doesn't do things like Peter. Maybe it's because he's not Peter? No, but I thought Miles Morales was Peter Darker, though. Isn't that what y'all like to say, that he's a black version of Peter Parker? You yourself just proved that they're two completely different characters. Like, bruh. I'm not even trying, and I'm roasting these idiots. I'm not even trying. They contradict themselves so fucking much. You keep on saying, why don't they do this like Peter? He's not a genius like Peter. You compare them every chance you get. Why he's not a genius like he is? You know, he doesn't do this like Peter. Hey, stupid. It's probably because he's not Peter Parker. It's not rocket science. It's probably hey, if he doesn't do certain things like Peter, or he's not as smart as Peter, don't you think it's because he's not Peter? He's Miles. Bro, we're done.
Game where his relationship with the gender-bent tinkerer who had to...
We're done with this idiot. Let's move on to the next one. Let's move on to an actual review, dude. These people are driving me nuts. Holy shit. The sad part in all of this is that this YouTuber is just as black as Miles, but yet there is shamelessly shitting on him by the way he's been contradicting himself throughout the video. All of these Miles haters contradict themselves. They all do.
Well, the new Spider-Man game is out, and
who is this
yeah,
clown?
it's fun, but I think if I'm gonna go for my Spider-Man experience,
I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it.
I'm just.
Let's play the video. Let's play the video.
Look, I'm not saying
these gatekeepers are crazy.
Ever created. It's really not. It is fun. Let me just talk about things I did like about it before I talk about things that really rubbed me the wrong way. First of all, the game looks fucking amazing. The graphics look so realistic. The ray tracing, the beautiful scenery you see in the background. It is fantastic. Sound design and the game, how things feel. The gameplay feels good. There is a lot going for it. I like the web wings.
This man wearing a Superior Spider-Man jacket.
I thought that was pretty cool. It's a great way to carry momentum over those huge gaps. The web swinging is still a lot of fun. Though I do recommend turning off the web assist or the swing assist because
40-year-old virgin. 40-year-old virgin. Bro's a threat. Yo, y'all niggas tweaking, bro. Y'all niggas are tweaking. I'm not even violating. Y'all are violating this dude.
Yeah, it feels a bit too automated. And the moment you take that off, it feels a lot more skilled.
He needs some music in the back. Oh,
Basically, Spider-Man has more weight to him. And yes, using the symbiote's abilities is a lot of fun. However, that's kind of where my...
Yeah, bro, my man looking like Jeff. This man got OnlyFans, Pornhub Premium, X videos pulled up on his phone. Yeah. Dude got the Meta PC with the water cooler. League of Legends pulled up on the screen. Staying in his house over. All right, I'm gonna stop.
Positives in there. The story, I think, is what rubs me the wrong way.
Why are you talking like that?
The most. Don't get me wrong, let me go ahead and list off some things that are good about the narrative. Like, for starters, Kraven. He's awesome. He's a badass. He's going around hunting...
Oh, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Miles of Disappointment. We're not even gonna... I don't even want to know what that title means, but we'll keep going. I'm assuming we'll find out.
Spider-Man's villains down and killing them. That's fucking awesome. It establishes him as a major threat. And then the other villain that we get in the game is Venom, which is no secret because the advertisements were constantly harping about Spider-Man and Miles versus Venom, so it's not a secret that he's in the game. And it's cool that you can play as Venom.
That was one thing. That was one thing I wasn't expecting. Like, playing as Venom, nobody can say they expected that. Nobody. I don't give a fuck. Nobody can say they expected to play as Venom. Nobody. That was one of the dopest moments in the game. Playing as Venom, that shit was so cool. He looks like he's not allowed within 300 feet of an elementary school.
With the symbiote suit and how it changes him, it's pretty great. It's just there is really one component that essentially kind of holds the game's narrative.
Let me guess, Miles. I'm gonna go ahead and just guess. Haven't seen the video. Haven't watched. I'm gonna just go ahead and guess. He's gonna say Miles. Go ahead and put your guesses. What do y'all think he's gonna say? He said there's one component that holds the game's narrative back. What do you guys think he's gonna say? What do you guys think that one component is that he's gonna say? See, he's on a rampage, bro. Some people need to get flamed, man. I'm sorry. Some people need to get flamed. Also, y'all better like the stream, nigga. Like the stream up. Like the stream up. Cause the algorithm, we gotta get up out in the algorithm so we can spread the message. I have a save file just to play Venom again. Oh yeah, that's how dope Venom was. Let's get into it. Let's do this shit. What's he gonna say?
And I'm very sorry to say this, but that is Miles Morales.
Never fails. I didn't even know what he was gonna say. I didn't even. Ooh, boy, these niggas are seething. These niggas are seething. I'm sorry, man. Did Flash Thompson stuff you in a locker or some shit? He looked at you and thought you hit, bruh. That's why, man. Flash Thompson rolled up. He thought he was Peter, grabbed his ass, shoved his ass into a locker. and he sees Miles, his spunk, his swag, the hate. It's just the hate, man. I'm sorry, like, it's not our fault. I don't know what to tell you, bro. But let's hear him out. Let's hear him out.
No, before any of you start going around in the comments and oh, I'm a racist, I don't like him because he's black, or whatever the fuck, whatever the brain rot idea you have going in your head. Miles is a...
Do I think he's racist? No, he's just stupid. There are some people, I don't think he's racist. He's just a fucking idiot.
Decent character in the games. I don't really care much for him, but if you were to hand me the movie version from Across the Spider-Verse, it's a freaking masterpiece, by the way. If you were to give me that version of Miles, I probably would love that a lot more.
And that's the thing. A lot of these people say, well, he is Spider-Man in Across the Spider-Verse. How much you want to bet those same people hated Across the Spider-Verse? How much you want to bet? How much you want to bet the same people who were hating on Miles in the game hated the Spider-Verse movies? Because I saw somebody say, well, he's Spider-Man in Spider-Verse. He is Spider-Man in that. And I go to his actual review. He hated Spider-Verse. Oh, but, you know, he's still not an original. It was that guy. It was that guy I debunked. What was his name? The one I made the video on who said Peter was the definitive Spider-Man. That dude. He was like, he was saying he's better in Spider-Verse. And then I went to go look at his review on Spider-Verse. And he still shat on Miles. Miles just cannot win to these people. They can't. He can't do it. They have to gatekeep. And here's the thing, bro. We know Peter's the OG. Nobody is saying Peter isn't the OG. We know Peter is the original Spider-Man. But why are y'all saying this now, though? Why are y'all saying this now? When Miles is starting to get more and more and more popular, these gatekeepers they have to go around the community, hey, assuring everyone, hey, just by the way, Peter's the original, Peter's the... Why are they doing that now? It's almost like they're afraid of how popular Miles is getting.
This version of Miles, the reason why he holds it back is because he has nothing to do. A lot of his side quest missions is just go around and help the community recover some, stolen artifacts or graffiti problem, or help this kid ask this other kid out for homecoming.
That's an optional side mission that you don't have to play. And most of it, I'm pretty sure Miles was given, I agree that Miles should have more time, if anything, Miles should have more time, should have had more screen time. If anything, a lot of Miles fans felt like he got sidelined. I can't blame him. I was personally satisfied because I was like, you know what? It's still Peter's story. So Miles isn't going to have as much time. They'll give him his shine and when he gets another game or a DLC. So I was fine with it. The majority of the story was still focused on Peter. That's what you have to understand. This is still Peter's game. So they gave Miles a storyline. They gave Miles his own storyline to focus on with Martin Lee. And then he helped Peter with Lizard. He had to fight Peter because of the symbiote shit. Fought Kraven tons of, Miles was given plenty to do. They act like his missions were just boring. I can't be racist. My friends. The man's just gonna complain about Miles saving Peter. Exactly. They are trying so hard to shit on him because he's mainstream. He's gotten popular. He is the Spider-Man of our generation. And Peter is the Spider-Man of last generation. That's okay. They're both the Spider-Man, technically. Nobody is dumping on Peter or shitting on Peter just because we like Miles. Nobody. His missions were, and then, yeah, the music mission was cool. His missions weren't boring. What are you talking about?
It's just, there's nothing really compelling for him to do besides find Martin Lee. And it's just...
That was literally his whole story, though. that was spread out throughout the game. Like, what the fuck? Oh my god.
I think to myself is like, how?
The only real criticism I could see is that he could have used more screen time and his final suit. There was nothing really wrong with Miles' story, because the reason that he didn't get as much time as he should have is because it was still, for the most part, Peter's game. They're clearly giving Miles another game or a solo DLC or something while Peter is on break, and Peter will come back. Maybe he'll pass the torch fully on to Miles at the end of 3, but we don't know. But again, all we can do is speculate. We don't know. We don't know. I hope. I think that would happen. I hope. Because if that means Miles can... I don't know. But I'd be fine with Peter and Miles coexisting at the end of 3 too. But I feel like him passing the torch completely would make more sense. Because in this game, Peter is leaving his prime while Miles is entering his prime. So it would make sense for me personally. But I'm fine with them coexisting too. Mainstream, they should coexist.
How much better would Miles' narrative would be?
Exactly, they're mad because Miles is popular and, quite frankly, is the cooler Spider-Man. He is strong. He is stronger than Peter. I wouldn't say... I guess you could say cooler. Yeah, you could say cooler. As far as, like, I don't think one is particularly better, but Miles, power-wise, is stronger than Peter. He's stronger than Peter, bro.
This was actually, like, if he had his own game to focus on, getting revenge on Martin Lee.
No, bruh. Because we already had a game where we already had that with Spider-Man 1. Martin Lee was the main antagonist. So you want that again with Miles' game? They would shit on him even more. Oh, well, he's just a reused protagonist from Peter's game. Nah, homie. No. And then that storyline would be even more drawn out than it already was in Spider-Man 2. No. I think we're fine with this. Thank you. Thanks for the suggestion, though. Thank you. But we're good. We're straight.
That to me would be just been a better time. This here is just like, it's just like he finds Martin Lee, they fight, and he just resolves his anger and goes like, yeah, go find Spider-Man for me. It's like Miles has no real struggle in this game. And he just resolves his anger and goes like, yeah, go find Spider-Man for me. It's like...
After the beginning of the game, Kraven does some bullshit. I forgot. He does some bullshit like at the raft. Miles finds Martin Lee there and almost refuses to save him. Martin Lee still... Keep in mind, Martin Lee still hates Spider-Man. He still hates them during this point in time. Still hates them. You could see it. You could go back and look. Then we got to Kraven shit. In the middle of the game, Miles fought Lee, and you can see Miles was obsessed with finding Lee throughout the game up until that point. They fight, and Miles realizes, yo, vengeance isn't the way. And it wasn't even about revenge, I don't think. But he finally fleshes out his trauma with in regards to his dad dying with Lee. And he says, you know what? I'm not doing this. He said, I'm done. He said, you know what? I'm not doing this revenge shit. I don't want to carry this hate anymore for you. I don't want to carry it. And he himself says, yo, I'm not going to forgive you. I'm not going to forgive you what you did, but let's work together and save Peter. Peter, in Spider-Man 3, forgave Sandman for literally killing Uncle Ben because it was an accident. Isn't that another sign of how Peter and Miles is different? Miles processes loss easier than Peter. That's another thing they're different for.
Like, Miles has no real struggle in this game. He has no real arc. Sure, they make it seem like he's struggling, but in reality, he's not. He doesn't really have to struggle keeping up with his friends and family because they all just accept that, yeah, he's Spider-Man, so he has to be out and about.
Because he's different from Peter. Everything that was wrong with Peter's Spider-Man writing-wise, they fixed with Miles. His family knows, he's all of his supporting family knows he's Spider-Man. While Peter was trying to hide his identity from his loved ones for so long. With Miles, they fixed that. He still struggles. He still has his own issues. I mean, like they just want him to suffer and get tortured and struggle as much as Peter does. Which, no, they're not doing that. They're not repeating the mistakes they made with Peter with Miles. Because then we just get the same shit over and over again. In fact, I think they're going to learn their lesson and progress Miles even further as a character than Peter. They're not doing, because they're not doing a one more day with Miles. They're not doing it. They're not doing that shit.
Peter constantly praises him, which on paper is not a bad thing. I imagine Peter would constantly praise him to help build him up, which again, I'm fine with, but how the game handles it, and especially later on, where they suggest something that left a very bitter taste in my mouth. Another problem with Miles is he's just there, and he's just takes away the screen time for what should be more focused on Peter in the symbiote. Because honestly,
so there it is. That's your actual issue. So you didn't even want Miles in the game to begin with. See? I told you. Take time away from Miles to focus on Peter. I told you. The more just listen to what they say. The more these guys talk, the more they expose themselves. Bruh. See, they pretend they're like, oh, well, I like Miles in the Spider-Verse, and I like Miles in the game. He's just, and then you say, well, take time away from Miles and focus more on Peter. You expose yourself, homie. Again, I don't need to just let them talk. Hear what they have to say.
Peter.
I don't even know what bro is saying.
Because honestly, there is not that much scenes of Peter, being changed by the symbiote. Yeah, there is a decent amount, but compared to...
They just want Miles to be Peter when it helps their argument. Exactly. I do question if Peter's not forgiving Otto. Hell nah. I don't think so. Wait, they want Miles to suffer just like Peter? I thought they don't want Miles to be like him. Exactly. Don't y'all want Miles to be different from Peter? The contradiction. I got so many things to tell this kid about his entire look. For on the real though, but I'm not gonna so how he looks, because it's got nothing to do with it. Oh my god, no background music in this shit. Yeah, no. Nah, bruh. So yeah, this is just all these are just Miles rants.
Oh, sure.
Like, the real reason a lot of these guys hate Spider-Man 2 and Peter got nerfed, quote unquote, it's really just because they don't like Miles. This is really just what it comes down to. Alright. One more 8-minute vid, and then I'm out of here. One more, and then we out. Laughing at these guys are so fucking entertaining, man. Because they all just end up exposing themselves at the end. Because again, I don't go after people that actually criticize the game, that have actual criticisms. I just go after the idiots. Because their arguments make no fucking sense. Does he know if Miles wasn't in the game, Peter would have never gotten the suit off and he would have killed Kraven if Miles was not there? That's what I'm saying. Like, what is bro even talking about? Miles definitely had his role to play. I don't know if Miles having people knowing he's Spider-Man is a good idea when people for the most part can't be trusted. Well, it's his family though. They could experiment with that in the next game. They could do that. Yeah, his video was a waste of time. All right. Y'all ready for this? Last one. Miles Morales into the Pandaverse. I have no idea what the fuck that even means. I'm guessing he means, I don't think he means Spider-Verse. Is he referencing oh, yeah, it's South Park, of course. Because they love to say Pandaverse. I even know, and but the thing is though, South Park was also making fun of people like you who just call everything woke all the time. But okay. I guess I guess we just gonna leave that part out. Also, y'all niggas be sure to like the stream. Appreciate the support. I'll drop, oh, for y'all niggas be sending videos in my comments, I'll drop a Discord link if y'all wanna join, by the way. Actually, I could drop it right now. Y'all could just join. That's assuming some of y'all even have Discords, bro. Well, I'll drop it. Some of y'all can join. Peter would have destroyed New York if Miles didn't stop him. Yeah. Let's do this shit. Because I'm trying to get off this motherfucker. Miles Morales into the Pandaverse. Let's go. So right off the bat, we already know where his headspace is. Let's see.
Apparently, Insomniac is going to make Miles Morales the lead for their Spider-Man games. In other news, fire burns.
What the fuck? Here's an intro.
So, to no one's surprise, it comes
Not a bad intro. Not gonna lie. Gotta give a nigga his credit. Well, I'm pretty sure he's a white guy, but gotta give the dude respect. Not a bad intro.
that Insomniac is ditching Peter Parker as the lead for their Spider-Man games to be replaced by everyone's favorite token, Miles Morales. Fair warning, there will be some spoilers.
They're not ditching Peter, bro. They're literally not ditching Peter. And for all of these people calling Miles a token character, stop using that word. You have no idea what a token character is. y'all don't know. Y'all only call Miles a token because that's really the only insult you can throw at him because he's black. That's it. This is what I mean when you guys always like to say, well, Spider-Man isn't about race. But every insult you guys throw at him is about race. He's not a token character. He is just another Spider-Man that has to be black. That happens to be black. That's it. He's not a token character. People are literally calling him Token Spider-Man because he's black.
There's about the second game coming up, so you've been warned. It was obvious from the first Insomniac Spider-Man game that they were gonna drop Peter for Miles.
Because a tokenized character is basically when they get a character, they get somebody of a certain minority, just to say, hey, we have a diverse character. But Miles is more than a token character though. Like he's very developed. He's a developed character. People like him. He's not a token.
There was really no other reason to have Miles in the game if that wasn't the intention. The team had 60 years of Spider-Man story. It was obvious from the first Insomniac Spider-Man game that they were gonna drop Peter for Miles.
No,
there was no other reason to have Miles in the game if that wasn't the intention. The team
maybe they have him in there to coexist with Peter, so that Peter could be the mentor figure and teach somebody how to be Spider-Man. No. He has to be. He only exists to replace Peter in this universe. Only. Got you.
60 years of Spider-Man stories to use, and they could have easily done an updated version of Spider-Man's origin set in modern times. This would have given them years of games if they chose to do that. However, they didn't. They chose instead to have Peter well established as Spider-Man, having almost 10 years under the mask. That alone was the first clue that they intended to ditch Peter. The second was them adding...
It's not a clue. He's just a more experienced Spider-Man. Like, what? Bro, no fucking way. No way. Feather Guardian knows this guy? I've seen his videos before because he's made another video about how Miles is a token character. And it's literally just because I guess they keep on saying that Brian Michael Bendis created Miles just to be a Black Spider-Man, which isn't true. He was created to represent they were already going to kill off Peter, and they wanted to tell a story about a character that was reflected of the mainstream culture, of the current mainstream culture, so they created Miles. They did not just say, hey, let's kill off Peter Parker and replace him with a black character so we can get diversity approval points. That wasn't a thing back when Miles was created. And even if they wanted to do something like that for representation, as long as it's not damaging Peter, they didn't make Peter Parker black. What's the issue?
The mask. That alone was the first clue that they intended to ditch Peter. The second was them adding in Miles Morales, who really had nothing to do with the actual plot, and then giving him powers and having him show them off at the end of the game. The next was a spin-off game focusing on Miles. All of that made it clear that the Spider-Man sequel was probably going to be the passing of the torch from Peter to Miles, which became apparent.
Yeah. By that by that logic, Peter would be a token, because he was created to pander to a certain audience as well. But Miles, they didn't even really mention race like that. It was just culture related. But if you're gonna utilize that logic just because of the fact that Miles is black, or because he was catering to a certain demographic, Spider-Man is catering to a certain demographic, which is the younger audience. So wouldn't he be a token to the younger audience? That's a good point.
Off at the end of the game. The next was a spin-off game focusing on Miles. All of that made it clear that the Spider-Man sequel was probably going to be the passing of the torch from Peter to Miles, which became apparent in the marketing for the game. Here we have the Venom arc, a major moment for Spider-Man's overall story.
He didn't pass the torch though, he just took a break
into that story. He's not a part of that story, and even in the version of the Venom arc that the writers tell, switching Venom from Eddie Brock to Harry Osborn, Miles really plays no role.
Listen to what he says. Shoehorn Miles into the story. So just off of your bias, you don't think Miles is a good character. That's the thing with Marvel. They know most Marvel fans like Miles, and they're gonna continue to push him no matter how much these crybabies whine about it, because deep down they know there's just some people you're just not gonna be able to please. Y'all can make these videos complaining, but Miles is a developed character and he makes money. He's not going anywhere.
Role in that. The whole arc revolves around Peter's friendship with Harry, yet Miles is randomly shoehorned into that relationship towards the end of the game.
You could make an argument when he first dropped that Miles was a token character. No, Miles was never a token character. Because he was literally just created to reflect the mainstream culture. So by that logic, Alexander, Ted Kord was the second Blue Beetle. He was an old white dude. And they had him. They had Jaime Reyes come in. He is the mainstream Blue Beetle now. But he just happens to be Hispanic. But you don't hear people calling Jaime Reyes a token character. Robbie Reyes is a Hispanic Ghost Rider after Johnny Blaze. Is he a token character as well? Black Panther was created because they wanted more black people to read comic books. And it was during the height of the Civil Rights Movement. They wanted more black people to be represented in comic books. Is Black Panther a token character too? This is what I mean when I tell y'all. These people who use that word, they have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. No idea.
Throughout the game, Peter hints that it may be time for him to quit, which comes off as weird because this is literally the second game. Barely any time has passed since the events of the first game. The second game also questions whether Peter is even cut out to be a hero, and implies Miles is much better at it than him despite barely a year's experience. The best example of this is when Martin Lee decides to try to redeem himself.
Like, a token is an empty husk of a character, literally just thrown in there. It's a nothing character thrown in there just to say, hey, we have a diverse character. But Miles is more than that. He's just a developed Spider-Man that is black. That's it.
Peter says to Miles that he's never been able to get any of his, and Miles is much better at it. The second game also questions whether Peter is even cut out to be a hero, and implies Miles is much better at it than him despite barely a year's experience. The best example of this is when Martin Lee decides to try to redeem himself. Peter says to Miles that
listen, I'm a Miles fan, okay? They didn't imply Miles was better at anything. Okay? They just said, hey, Miles is ready to step up to the mantle temporarily while Peter goes to take a break. We can speculate that he might pass the torch on in 3, which I think would be a good conclusion, because Peter's already experienced. Why not let Miles take a crack at it? But that's just me. What's the issue with that? Exactly, I guess Jon Stewart is a token character by his logic, even though he's one of the best black characters of that century. So Miles not being involved in the symbiote arc is a problem. Load up that Kraven scene, please. Yeah, when he literally had to stop Miles from killing Kraven. But no, Miles was shoehorned into the story. Alright, bro.
Never been able to get any of his, and Martin Lee
goodness.
decides to try to redeem himself. Peter says to Miles they're cut out to be a hero, and implies Miles is much better at it than him despite barely a year's experience. The best example of this is when Martin Lee decides to try to redeem himself. Peter says to Miles that he's never been able to get any of his enemies to reform, which runs contrary to everything about Peter as a person. It also runs contrary to the actual story, because Lee already felt guilty. All Miles did was put a face on the victims Lee regretted hurting. Ironically, Miles doesn't forgive Lee. Instead, he just...
Miles redeemed him. Miles was responsible for Martin Lee's redemption. When they ran into each other at the raft, Martin Lee still had hatred for Spider-Man, for both of them. Now, he was guilty, but he was still a villain. You do realize just because a villain is guilty of doing something doesn't make them any less of a villain, right? If anything, it makes him a sympathetic villain, but he's still a villain. He even wrote letters to Aunt May when he was doing all of that fucked up shit, but he was still a bad guy. Miles set him on the path to atone for himself. So yes, he was like, y'all will do anything. Y'all will do anything to discredit this man. To discredit Miles. You are literally flipping the shit, coping and trying to flip the story to where, oh, actually, Miles didn't redeem Lee. He redeemed himself. No. Pretty sure when Miles decided to let go of his hate for Lee, he told him, he was like, yo, I'm the son of that police officer you killed. Because Lee had a relationship with Miles in the first game. That's what causes him to switch up. Like, what are you talking about?
Based on the victims Lee regretted her story, because Lee already felt guilty. All Miles did was put a face on the victims.
Like, this dude is this dude is doing mental gymnastics to take any credit from Miles as Spider-Man. It's insane.
Lee regretted hurting. Ironically, Miles doesn't forgive Lee. Instead, he just lets go of his hate. Compare that to the hot mess that is Spider-Man 3. That movie is terrible, but it does have some great moments, and one of them is when Sandman confesses to killing Uncle Ben, and Peter finds the courage to forgive him. Moments like that define Spider-Man. It's the sacrifices and hard decisions that Peter makes that define his character, which in turn defines...
No, they don't define Spider-Man, they define Peter. Given that Peter and Miles are both Spider-Man, they're also two completely different people. Miles made some hard decisions in the game too. Just like Peter did.
Confesses to killing Uncle Ben.
Like, if I were Spider-Man, I would never forgive anybody who killed my parents. But that's just Peter's character. That's Peter's character. And you're saying that's a defining moment from Spider-Man. And that's the thing. I thought you wanted Miles to be different from Peter. So you're saying he should have forgiven Martin Lee like Peter did? The irony, man. The irony.
Finds the courage to forgive him. Moments like that define Spider-Man. It's the sacrifices and hard decisions that Peter makes that define his character, which in turn defines what it is to be Spider-Man. There is no Spider-Man without Peter Parker, because Spider-Man's heroics are an extension of Peter's personality and choice. No Spider-Man define his character, which in turn defines what it is to be Spider-Man.
It doesn't. Hard decisions define Spider-Man, but forgiving somebody who killed your parents, it can be a hard decision, but just because he did it doesn't mean that Miles has to. So for a lot of y'all that say Miles is Peter Darker, kind of sounds like y'all want him to act exactly like Peter. But again, like Kusum said, they only want Miles to be like Peter when it fits their narrative. Any other deviation from that, they shit on him.
that define his character, which in turn defines what it is to be Spider-Man. There is no Spider-Man without Peter Parker because Spider-Man's heroics are an extension of Peter's personality and choices. Insomniac.
Okay. So is every other fucking superhero. So is Batman. So is Green Lantern. So is Superman. So is the Flash. So is Iron Man. Those respective people still weren't the only ones to wear the mantles of their respective characters. Batman. Him being Batman is an extension of his personality. He still wasn't the only Batman. Like, am I missing something? Barry Allen is a hero. When he's being the Flash, he's still not the only Flash. Wally West's heroics are an extension of his character. He's still not the only Flash. Like, this argument makes no sense.
Ironically shows this in the game. Peter has real problems, not just in the suit, but out of the suit.
So does Miles.
His life is jacked, almost entirely because of him being Spider-Man. The first thing we see of him is him teaching class only for Sandman to attack. Both he and Miles go out to fight, but only Peter ends up with a consequence. He loses his job for apparently ditching the kids. Does Miles or his friends, who all apparently know he's playing Spider-Man, step in to cover for Peter? Nope. They let him take the fall.
No, because Peter's a grown-ass fucking man. What the fuck are those kids gonna do? Like, you heard what the principal said. He abandoned the kids, the students, in a fucking emergency. Yeah, he was getting fired. There is nothing they could have done about that. And then you're saying Peter is the only one that ends up with a consequence? Like what did you want Miles to get? Detention? Like, I'm confused. Like, what did you want him to get? I mean, did you want him to get, like, suspended or some shit? Peter is a grown ass fucking man. Miles is literally a kid in this. Yes, Peter is gonna have more consequence because he is an adult, and in an adult oriented world, adults get consequences. Kids do dumb shit. They'll get a slap of like, what the fuck?
His job for apparently ditching the kids. Does Miles or his friends, who all apparently know he's playing Spider-Man, step in to cover for Peter? Nope. They let him take the fall. Meanwhile, Miles.
Yeah, you know what, Miles? You know what, Miles? You left the class while Sandman was attacking. You get silent lunch. Okay? You get to sit all alone at that table. You can't talk to anybody until the bell rings. There we go. We gave Miles a consequence. Is that what you want? Would that make you feel better? Let's give Miles some silent lunch. Let's move your name down to the red zone. Take your sticky note. Take your name on a sticky note. Move it down to the red zone. You failed class for today. There you go. Like, what did you want them to do? Peter is a 26, 27-year-old dude. Yeah, and he abandoned his students. Yeah, he was getting a consequence.
Life. Well, you know what? That's
like, dude.
Apparently know he's playing Spider-Man. Step in to
this
cover
argument
for Peter?
Is so stupid.
Nope. They let him take the fall. Meanwhile, Miles has a relatively perfect life. Well, you know what? That's not entirely fair. While he does have a bunch of friends who all know he wears a costume, and a mother who's totally supportive of him fighting crime, he does have some problems. There's a girl he likes that he just can't bring himself to ask out. And he's got to write a bio about himself for his college application. And his mother is dating a new guy. Oh, and his uncle, the Prowler, is out of jail and might be back to his old criminal ways, all of which get neatly resolved in Miles' favor
and Martin Lee
with little effort. By the way,
no,
this
it
was the
wasn't
writers
little effort,
trying
bro.
to make Miles interesting. He's so generic.
It wasn't. His struggle in the game was basically Martin Lee, because it was still a majority Peter story. Miles had more struggle in his game than he did in this, but that's because this is mainly a Peter story. But Miles is also Spider-Man in this universe. It's like you guys want Miles, like you guys want Miles to suffer like Peter, and it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. They want Miles to suffer like Peter. They want Miles to be smart like Peter. But he shouldn't be like Peter, because then he'd be Peter Darker. It makes no sense.
And boring that Harry Osborn.
And he's not generic, because people relate to him.
character has a more interesting background and story, which I won't spoil because it's actually a good story and is one of the better parts of the game. So of course, when it came out that Insomniac is ditching Peter for Miles, there was a backlash, and on social media, you got the usual suspects from both sides going.
They literally did not say they were ditching Peter. They said Miles will be the main Spider-Man. That means he'll be patrolling New York. Peter's gonna get his life back together, and then he'll most likely come back. And here's the thing, they didn't even really say all that. They really just implied it. And then, you know, you had people like this screaming about it.
Miles Morales is Spider-Man. No, Peter. Social media, you got the usual suspects from both sides going, Miles Morales is Spider-Man. No, Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Miles Morales is Miles Morales. So why is there this backlash? I think it's simple.
I mean,
Miles Morales
is Spider-Man, and so is Peter. You gatekeepers and fanboys are the only ones saying Miles Morales isn't Spider-Man. Nobody is saying Peter Parker isn't Spider-Man. We know he's Spider-Man. It's just y'all saying this.
Has been pushed from his creation to replace Peter Parker, and the reason has been solely about race. Morales is Miles Morales. So why is there this backlash? I think it's simple. Miles Morales has been pushed from his creation to replace Peter Parker, and the reason has been solely about race. That because Peter is white, he's unrelatable, so Spider-Man needs to be race swapped.
No, he's not.
So minorities can
see, this is what I mean. You're the one making it about race. You are. We like him because he's a good character. Again, there are bland-ass fucking black characters that no one likes. Like, for example, Riri Williams. That's one that they tried to push. No one liked him. No one liked her. Miles Morales is a successful character because he's relatable. Even in his comics, people try to act like his comics weren't terrible. They weren't terrible. Some were good, some were bad, some were really bad, some were pretty decent. They weren't terrible, they just weren't groundbreaking. But he still had a decent story.
From his creation to replace Peter Parker.
And he does replace Miles in the Ultimate Universe, but in 616, he's just coexisting with Peter. And even in this, they coexist. Like, he's just going to be Spider-Man while Peter goes on break. He might pass the torch completely, but we don't know that.
Reason has been solely about race. That because Peter is white, he's unrelatable, so Spider-Man needs to be race swapped so minorities can see themselves in the character. It's not about a lack of popularity, which is the usual reason for replacing the character, because Spider-Man remains popular, even after the Clone Saga, One More Day, and Dan Slott's run. It's not that no one likes Peter Parker or that
Listen, bro. What irks me about some of these people is they say that the main people who are saying you shouldn't need race to relate to a character, let's be real, are white people. And you know what? It is very easy to say that when most of the mainstream superheroes are white. Like it'd be like a rich dude saying, "Oh, it's not about the money." Well, it's easy for you to say you have money. I'm not comparing white people to rich. I'm trying to use an analogy, right? Most mainstream characters are white. So you could say, well, you don't need race to relate to them. Well, some people would like a character to relate to, and that's not a bad thing. Some people do relate to Miles because of his race. That's not a bad thing. You don't get to define how people are supposed to like a character. I relate to him because of his race, and I think he's a good character. It's not really just one or the other. Exactly, and they're acting like they just took Peter Parker and made him black. If they did that, I would see why people would have an issue. But Miles is a different character. No, they don't know what race swap means. They have no fucking clue.
Which is the usual reason for replacing the character, because Spider-Man remains popular, even after the Clone Saga, One More Day, and Dan Slott's run. It's not that no one likes Peter Parker or that there aren't more stories to tell with that character. I mean, the obvious story to tell is the...
I don't know. I mean, is there really anything more they can do with Peter in the comics? At least in comics-wise, like, everything in the comics that you could have done with Peter has already been done. I'm just saying. Which is why so many people are invested in like these alternate universes, like the video games.
Finally let him and MJ get back together and have a kid. Of all the characters who should be a dad, it's Peter.
And then Miles also has more story potential. Like, Miles doesn't have 60 years of history that they have to account for to avoid, like, messing up those stories. Miles, for the most part, is a fresh slate. So he has more creative room to grow than Peter. Because Peter's just been around longer. So he's kind of run out of stories to tell for the most part.
For some reason, the powers that be at Marvel just don't want Peter and MJ back together, although they are allowing that story to be told in the Ultimate Universe. Don't want Peter and MJ should be a dad. It's Peter. Finally let him and MJ get back together and have a kid. Of all the characters who should be a dad, it's Peter. But for some reason, the powers that be at Marvel just don't want Peter and MJ back together, although they are allowing that story to be told in the Ultimate Universe. My point, though, is that people love Peter Parker, so there's no real weight to the claim that he's unrelatable. So there's no real...
He's with MJ at the end of the game. He's literally with MJ at the end of the game. But that came at the cost of Miles having to take the mantle.
Though, is that people love
I'm confused. I thought y'all wanted Peter to be happy, bro.
Peter Parker. So there's no real weight to the claim that he's unrelatable, so there's no real reason to replace him. And make no mistake, that is the intention behind the push for Miles Morales. It's to get rid of Peter Parker. And that too is part of the backlash, because people don't like being told to like a character. And they like it even less when the character is as bland and generic as Miles, and they absolutely...
Dude, nobody is forcing you to like Miles. You don't have to like the character. I mean, if you could give me your reasons for not liking him, that's fine. But most Spider-Man fans like the character. As I said, the only people who feel like Miles is being shoved down their throat are people who hate Miles simply because he's not Peter. Those are the only. You don't hear any Spider-Man. You don't hear most Spider-Man fans saying, "Hey, I want Miles. Give me more of him." That was due to the success of the Spider-Verse. When they saw how much story potential Miles had, they said, "Yo, give us more." And even then, Miles was already confirmed to be in the Insomniac universe. Nobody is telling you to like the character. Nobody. If you don't like Peter, if you don't like Miles, then you can just go play the Peter games. Go watch the Peter movies. While we enjoy something new, you can stay in your little bubble when Peter is the only Spider-Man. That's fine. But yeah, y'all can cry and whine. Nobody is forcing you to like anything. And if he was as bland and generic as you say, don't you think people wouldn't like the character? Again,
hate it when you're telling them to like a character based solely on that character's race. Throughout his comic book history, Miles' sole defining feature has been his race. Nothing else about him stands out.
No,
Something
it hasn't.
Easily proven by asking Miles Morales fans what's their favorite Miles Morales story. You wouldn't see people...
My favorite Miles story is Into the Spider-Verse. But I see, that's not a story. Yes, it is. A movie is a story. Last time I checked. I'm a huge Wolverine fan. I love Wolverine. I've watched the X-Men, watched the Wolverine movies, and I'm going to play the game when it comes out. If you ask me, hey, Hi C, what's your favorite Wolverine storyline in the comics? Never read a Wolverine comic book in my entire life, but I still love the character. Like, trust me, when I tell y'all, most Spider-Man fans, much less most superhero fans, don't read comics. Like, the definitive comic storyline arcs only matter to comic book fans. That's it. And the mainstream Spider-Man fans, most of them don't read comics. So when I tell you that you can like a character without reading the comics, that is perfectly fine. I like Miles. I like Wolverine. I don't read the comics. So when I tell y'all that definitive comic book story arcs don't matter as much as y'all think they do, y'all will know I'm telling the truth. They don't matter as much as y'all think they do, bro. Yes, Peter has some really good story arcs in the comics, but that's because Peter was Marvel's flagship character at the time, so they had dedicated writers to work for him. That's it. X-Men, that's another one. They have some really good stories. Miles has some pretty good stories right now, from what I heard. And they finally listened to the fans and started giving him original villains. From what I heard, Miles is banging in the comics right now. I feel like some of y'all are just mad because Peter's writers are giving him ass stories, but Miles' writers are giving him good stories. And so y'all are just trying to take out y'all anger on Miles and Miles fans. We ain't gonna let that slide.
Unless you ask them about their favorite part of ISOM. Even in the games, the writers struggle to give Miles problems on par with Peter's absolutely foobar life. Miles is over here like, my childhood friend sacrificed himself.
Because they don't need to be on par with Peter's. He's not like Peter. That's the whole point of his character.
With Peter's absolutely foobar life. Miles is over here like, my childhood friend sacrificed himself, and I thought about killing Martin Lee. Meanwhile, Peter is like, dude, I'm responsible for the deaths of both.
Because Martin Lee killed his dad? Like, bro, dude. Let's just finish the video. And then he had to witness his mentor break down with the symbiote. He had issues in the game, bro.
My surrogate parents and my best friend. Keep in mind, the writers were actually trying to give Miles some conflict, and this was the best they could do. You can't make people like Miles Morales, and undermining Peter, retiring Peter, or killing him.
Yeah, nobody's trying to make you like anybody, homie. I mean, how do I tell you, man? I agree you can't force somebody to like a character, but Miles was already liked by default. Y'all are the only ones who think that people are forcing you to like the character. Y'all are the only ones that think that, bro. The rest of us like Miles.
You can't make people like Miles Morales, and undermining Peter, retiring Peter, or killing him off isn't going to make people suddenly view Miles as a real Spider-Man.
And neither of those three they did. None of them. They didn't retire him yet. They didn't undermine him. And they didn't kill him off. And then here's the thing, you don't even view Miles as a real Spider-Man. So you're already just like, we already know where your headspace is.
Peter
like with some people, they will no matter how much good writing they give Miles, that's what y'all have to understand. No matter how much good writing some people give Miles, they will never view him as Spider-Man. Never. Just like I said, there's just certain people you're not going to be able to convince.
What it is to be Spider-Man because he is Miles, and undermining Peter, retiring Peter, or killing him off isn't going to make people suddenly view Miles as a real Spider-Man. Peter
is already Spider-Man.
Spider-Man because he is Spider-Man. It's an extension of his personality and experiences. You can't just put someone else in the suit and go, what's the difference? The difference is that it's not the same guy. This isn't about hating Miles Morales. It's about loving Peter Parker.
So Peter Parker has to be Spider-Man forever. Constantly get his ass beat forever. Fight the same villains over and over and over. Forever. He can't pass the mantle. Can't pass the legacy down. Nope. Nobody else can be under the mask. Just Peter. Guess we're just going to ignore legacy characters like Batman Beyond. We're just going to ignore characters like Blue Beetle that exist. We're just going to ignore Ant-Man. Like all these characters that have definitive story arcs because their stories came to an end and they passed the mantle down. Characters have more meaningful character arcs when their stories conclude. Peter's arc as Spider-Man should have ended a long time ago. And now they're starting to realize, hey, I mean, we get it, y'all like Peter, but Miles just has more potential. Fanboys get mad. Even though Miles is a very great developed character.
The name Spider-Man that people
they didn't even say they were replacing him. They're not replacing him.
It's the person, and that person is Peter Parker. That's who they connected with. That is who's a smart aleck. That's who learned the lesson the hard way, that with great power comes great responsibility. You can no more switch out Peter Parker for someone else than you could switch out Bruce Wayne for someone else. It's Bruce's tragedy that made him Batman.
But you can, and they did. Multiple times. there have been multiple Batman. Like, bro, are you stupid? I'm sorry. Like, are you stupid? So I get, like, is he not? I guess Miles isn't a hero now. Like, I don't know.
He is who defines what it is to be Batman because it's literally who he becomes after his parents' murder.
So I guess by his logic, Wally West isn't the Flash. Blue Beetle isn't Jaime Reyes. I guess Barry Allen isn't the Flash because he wasn't even the original, right? Jay Garrick was. But when you ask people who the Flash was, people are going to say either Barry Allen or Wally West. Nobody gives a fuck about the original Flash. Even though that was an extension of his personality. These superhero, like, these are fictional characters, bro. They are titles and monikers. I get it, you like the character, but y'all are reaching to an extreme. Nobody's making you like Miles. If you don't like him, that's fine, but most people like the character. He's not bland, he's not generic. This is y'all literally just coping and seething.
There's another person in the suit, it's no longer Batman. It's just someone playing the role. And for the people who have a hard time understanding...
Yeah, that's what Batman is. That's what Spider-Man is. That's what Superman is. It's a role. It's a legacy. It's an ideology. It's like, why is this so hard for people to understand? Oh no. When Steve gave the shield to Sam, oh, people were mad. People were mad, bro. Bro, niggas was butt hurt, bro. When Steve, especially when it happened in the comics, oh, the racists were going off, bro. Just like they did with Miles when he was first created. Nothing but N-words. Crazy. And they're still making it about race. Almost 10, 12 years later.
But we're not talking about a character no one knows about. We're talking about one of the most popular characters in the world.
It doesn't matter.
Him out and think everyone...
Popularity doesn't matter. He is still he's still a character, a fictional character superhero, just like every other character. No, I get it. He's not special. Like, I get it. He's a popular character, but he's not. I don't know. Y'all think he's just... Y'all have this weird toxic codependency. Like, y'all think he's exempt or something. He's... Spoiler, he's not. I love Peter. I like the character. But if they want him to go live his life while they build up another Spider-Man, that's to be honest, that's the best thing you can do with this character right now. Because you have Zeb Wells in the Amazing Spider-Man comics hoeing him because they have no clue what the fuck to do with him. The games... Peter is great in the games. He's training Miles to be Spider-Man. Why not? Why not have him take the backseat for a little bit? I mean, he'd still be Spider-Man. Miles is just the more relatable Spider-Man for the current generation. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Everyone will be cool with it, especially not when the character is still popular, and definitely not when the only reason you want to do it is because the original character isn't the right race. And calling everyone racist for not liking Miles Morales
it's got nothing to do with race.
Now, the irony of ironies is that Marvel could get Miles over by simply giving him his own identity and name and making him his own character instead of someone living under Peter's shadow. They had the opportunity to do that when they brought Miles from the Ultimate Universe into the regular Marvel Universe.
He's not in Peter's shadow. Like, what these people don't understand is that giving Miles his own name literally shits on the entire point of his character. Because the point of his character is to be a legacy character. He's to be the Spider-Man to pick up after Peter. And in some ways, learn under Peter. Y'all want him to have another name just so he can be some freelance spider roaming around that y'all don't have to worry about. Y'all are worried about him being Spider-Man. That's it. Because again, in y'all's minds, no one can be Spider-Man other than Peter. Like, this toxic gatekeeping mentality needs to stop. And just because Miles is black, no, it does not make him a pander character just because he's black. I don't know what to tell you, man. Some of y'all just have no idea what y'all are talking about. And y'all don't know what a token is either, so stop using that word. But anyways, that's gonna be it. I've had it. I'm about to get up out of here. This wasn't even laughing at Spider-Man 2 haters. This was just strictly just fucking brain rot. Literally. You know, I didn't know Peter became Spider-Man at the age of 15, as I always thought he hit 20s. But the movies, and I realized this since 2016, and Marvel didn't want him to grow up. Exactly. Peter has been out of high school for like 20 years. He hasn't even been in high school since like the mid-2000s. For the most part, he's either been just living an adult life in his early 20s, or he was in college for the most part. Superman is not about legacy. Exactly. John Kent is Superman. We're starting to see more of John Kent Superman, Superman's son. Damian Wayne is literally becoming, we're seeing more iterations of Damian Wayne as Batman now. Why do y'all think that is? It's because they started to realize a lot of these characters just need to be their actual ages and just let the new younger faces take over. That's it. We're starting to see Damian Wayne's Batman more and more. We're starting to see John Kent's Superman more and more. We're starting to see Miles as Spider-Man more and more. I get it. Y'all are attached to these older characters, but if y'all want to see something new, something fresh, something different, y'all gotta be open to it. I don't know what to tell y'all. Yeah, but this was literally just a coping session. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'm about to get up out of here. If y'all like what y'all see, y'all better drop a fucking like. Y'all better drop a fucking like, nigga. Better see y'all. Discord. I'm gonna drop my Discord. Y'all feel free to join. Be active in this bitch, all right? I'm trying to revive this shit. There we go. Post the Discord. My Twitch. Twitch is also HiCHD. Feel free to follow. We do watch throughs on there. We watched Echo on Twitch. But it's usually late nights though. We watched Echo on Twitch. If y'all like that, when Invincible and The Boys comes out and stuff, we usually watch those on Twitch, right? So y'all can follow that shit. Appreciate y'all tuning in. My next video, I don't know what my next video is gonna be. Ooh, good stream. Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate y'all. Again, Miles Morales is Spider-Man. Peter Parker is Spider-Man. As long as these haters get on Miles' ass, y'all can depend on me to be there to roast every single one of those niggas. And I'm gonna try and expand. Y'all know I did the Laughing at Spider-Verse meme, so you know I want to expand on the content, do Echo reviews. But yeah, that's gonna be it. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Subscribe, share, follow. I'm gonna make a Twitter. I might make a Twitter. I don't even really be on Twitter like that, but I might make a Twitter for y'all to follow as well. But anyways, thank y'all for watching. And yeah, that's gonna be it. Where's this shit at? This was a mental study of 3 people being delusional. Basically. Basically, Feather Guardian. There we go. Alright. Definitely gonna pull up for those. Appreciate it. Bye, High C. Can't wait for your next vid. Yeah, I appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Damian Wayne is... Why is that hilarious? Why is that hilarious, CCP? Wouldn't it be fun to see a Batman that kills for a change? Like Damian Wayne? Oh, wait. Damian doesn't kill anymore. Forgot. Because they're trying to make him a better person. But yeah, that's going to be it. Thank y'all for tuning in. And I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace. Catch y'all niggas later. Catch y'all on the flip side. Peace.